All right, this is Swift Pours, a special one for you guys. I got
Karthik Sudhir from Phenomenal Spirits, RY3 Whiskey and Ron Izalco Rum.
and we're going to go through and talk a little bit about RY3 and also how it's pronounced, because I know a lot of people butcher that. How do you say it? I know you meant to market it super easy, and everybody butchers it.
Friends, it is not RY3, it is RY3. I spent a lot of money on trademarks. So for heaven's sake, it's RY3. It's not RY3. I want to do a TikTok video.
100%.
I want to do a TikTok video that whoever calls RY3, I'm going to call them. I got to do something.
As you should. I mean, yeah, as you should. I'm not going to lie, though.
But folks, I made peace.
Absolutely. The other question we got, when did RY3 start? When did you kind of segue in or want to start doing this? I heard 2014 thrown around the other night. I'm pretty sure that's when you guys started.
Yeah. So 2017 was when the company was registered, but it takes about a good 18 months or so to get the product going. But our initial launch was Ron Izalco Rum. We released in international market in France, Denmark, Poland, UK, and then we brought it to USA. But the RY3, the first blending was done in 2019, and that's when the blending program began. And I started putting together a program for whiskey, and specifically focused on on rye category as such.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. And then did that start in California? Did that
No,
start in
no.
Tennessee?
Initially, our blending house was in Virginia Beach, and Matt Witzig was doing consulting for us. Matt Witzig, phenomenal blender, and master distiller, amazing. And he was doing a consulting gig for me, and we were building the whiskey program. And then at the end of the program, there was an opportunity to bring him on board, and went ahead and did that. And he's a CEO of our company, and he's a master blender of our company, and helps a lot on the operations and and so on and so forth. Now he's fully involved on route to market too.
Awesome. Yeah, we actually met him. He stopped by up north, and I got to talk to Matt for
beautiful.
just a little bit. So that was really, really cool to see that.
Yeah.
He's a really good dude and knows his stuff.
100%. Yeah.
Let's see. For people that don't understand blending / compared to distilling your own spirits, how can you kind of not dumb it down, but kind of give it the people who don't know kind of like a light at the end of the tunnel on what that kind of means?
Yeah, for the longest time in America, I think distillation was given a high prominence. But in the last 10 years or 12 years or so, the craft brands have come up, and they have taken over, blending as the main component to build their business. But blending is not common. Blending has been done in Scotland, in Ireland for the longest time, probably 300, 400 years now, maybe even more for that matter. We take good juice and we make it phenomenal. Think about a blank canvas, an artist with a lot of colors and a paintbrush, and it is his or her imagination of what they want to do. If it is distillation, it's only single vintage, and it's one mash bill, and that's about it. But blending, the possibilities are endless. Cask finish, possibilities are endless. That's what we want to do. We want to put out great products that people can enjoy and approachable and at the right price point.
Absolutely. And then that's kind of what I'm going to segue into is when you do finishes, where are you sourcing barrels from to do maybe a PX sherry, which is affiliated with that, whether it's a high 7 year that just came out?
Yeah.
Where are you pulling kind of different barrels from different regions?
Yeah. So first of all, sourcing, there are only 3 or 4 big national barrel brokers. We work with all of them, and we have great relationship, and we are in the relationship business. So we have strong relationship with them. We've been working with them since 2019, 2020 now. And the way we choose barrels here is, product pipeline has to be done 12 to 15 months ahead of the game. 2026 release has already been decided right now. 2025 was decided in early January of 2024, but the formulation and aspects of it were done in 2023. So it's you have to think ahead of the game. So Tokai cask was taught something last year. PX sherry also was taught last year itself. So it's all part of the product product pipeline.
Awesome. Yeah, I was curious too because we were talking about a little bit. People were curious about the Sherry Oloroso and the PX sherry, and we kind of went over that a little bit. And there is a little difference, and some of that dryness on the Sherry Oloroso can come out big time.
Yeah.
But
so we may end up using PX. In the Oloroso one of these days. But what we felt was for our foundation blend, foundation liquid, what we have, PX Sherry was the right one because we do a lot of simulation in our lab, and we get to try our cask finish simulations before we actually start working on the actual cask finish as such.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Kind of going back to the distillate question, are you guys planning on making your own distillate in the future coming up, or do you guys really? I mean, you guys are doing very, very phenomenal with sourcing.
Yeah.
I guess it's a two-part question. Maybe where's the sourcing coming from? A lot of people are curious if it's MGP.
Yeah.
I was actually at a tasting yesterday at the saloon, and they said that the some of them is coming from Alberta,
Yeah.
and then some from MGP, and I don't know the third one. But I was curious about that too.
Yeah, our base is 95.5. 95.5 is a classic benchmark rye. We have used MGP in the past. We may use MGP, we may not. We don't know. The future is uncertain, and there's a lot of 95.5 great distilleries producing amazing 95.5. So we're not stuck on one distillery, but we're stuck on that particular mash bill. That's more important because 95.5 becomes a base for our foundation liquid. Then for the structure, we use 100% rye Alberta. So far, we have used Alberta. There's possibilities that we may switch over, but 100% rye is what we're going to use. 14-year light whiskey is an ex-Seagram distillate, and that's what's been told, and that's what we have in our in our PO and invoice, and in our in the barrel tags, and it's fantastic. That's a finish that brings that cone component, extra edge cone component, shaves off a lot of harsh edges of the rye whiskey, mellows it down, and gets it really ready for bourbon drinkers to transition to a rye world. I always call that as like the graduation ceremony for the bourbon drinkers to come to the rye world. You've been graduated. Yeah.
Another thing too is we'll hit briefly on it, but American light whiskey's kind of been a fad kind of favorite recently. What is I guess the mash bill that kind of classifies an American light whiskey? Maybe the finishing, the age, and why the proof can get so dang high.
Yeah, it's 99% corn, 1% malted barley, aged in ex-bourbon barrel. If I'm not mistaken, I think it has to come out of the still at 168 minimum, if I'm not mistaken, and it can go up to 186, I think, if I'm not mistaken. My numbers may be plus or minus off, but it is very high proof, and it's been a blending component. It's been used as a blending component in the U.S. and Canadian whiskey industry for a long time. There's a trend in the last couple of 24 months or 36 months. A lot of people like high proof.
Yeah.
The trend is still there.
What I'm drinking.
Exactly. You're drinking a 14-year light whiskey. It's a single barrel, and it's at 130.4 proof. It's fantastic.
And there's some 16 years out there that are sitting at 144.4, I believe, and those are incredible. But
we will still put out that, and we'll make sure that RY3 whiskey lovers will have access to that juice, and but it's done in small quantity. That's not the way we want to build our brand, and we are definitely a grassroots level brand builders. We have a cultish following, and we focus on a lot of relationship, and we work hard.
Absolutely. Yeah. Segueing into rum. I don't want to butcher the name. I'm pretty sure it's Ron Izalco.
And you said it perfect.
Okay, I just want to make sure it wasn't like Ron, but Ron Izalco.
Perfect.
I am not a rum drinker at all. You saw my expressions yesterday, actually, when I tried it. That 15-year was very good. And the 18-year was like eating a frosted vanilla cupcake.
Yes.
When did you what's the process on rum, I guess from the beginning to the end, kind of briefly? Because people like me, I really just haven't dove into that rum world.
Yeah.
And being a bourbon whiskey rye drinker, I know it's 100 times different.
Yes.
And maybe where you guys pull barrels and stuff for that too.
So our rum comes from Central America. Some of the prime, rum making countries from Central America. We're fully focused on Central American rums, and it's a molasses-based rum, aged in ex-bourbon barrel. It's a straight-aged rum. It's a fantastic sipper, and it's a bourbon drinkers rum, whiskey drinkers rum. It's higher proof. The 10-year is 86 proof. 15 years 110.6 proof. 18-year is about 130 proof. And we are going to go do some more younger age rum so that it's accessible for all people in slightly mid-value price point sometime later this year, and it will be still fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We're at Gomer's of Kansas right now, and
Yeah.
I was actually, before we came up here in their tasting room,
Yeah.
just checking out the case down there. And that 18-year rum is only like, I think it was $78 downstairs or 82. I think it's in that range. I might be switching the 15 and the 18, but like that's not bad at all for an 18-year rum. And I can tell you right now, it does not drink like 130.
Exactly. We could have marked it, $100, $110, but we did not, because we want more and more people to, appreciate rum, and and it's a small batch. And if you're a bourbon drinker, if you're a high proof rye drinker, or if you're a barrel picker, try the Ron Izalco 18-year. You will be amazed, and it's small batch. We do very, very small quantity of that.
It's so good.
Yeah,
I can confirm it's so good.
Yeah.
For the cigar smokers with rum, you kind of hit on it yesterday, but that 18-year to me is very vanilla cupcake, like I kind of mentioned. You mentioned yesterday for the 18 that you like kind of a medium-bodied cigar with a little bit of a vanilla note.
Yep.
For the 15, what would you recommend? And maybe you do have a switch up on the 18 too, maybe another recommendation as well.
Yeah, with 15-year, I like a little more Connecticut wrapper. The spices on the 15-year is very bold, very strong, and a lot more drier rum on the 15-year. I would like to pair it with a little more lighter, cigars for that. A Connecticut wrapper would be a right one for me. And for the 18-year, a medium to heavy body. I don't go by brands per se, but lately I've been exploring and learning a lot about Brazilian tobaccos, Brazilian wrappers. So that's what I've been smoking. A lot of Drew Estate has been fantastic. A lot of CAO, Brasilia, that's fantastic. Good value cigars. Yeah, so medium to heavy body cigars is something what I've been smoking with our cigar series with the 18-year. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys hit on that yesterday too, and I was like, man, I think I missed the part where you said what you would pair the 15 with. So I wanted to hit on that.
Yeah.
We're going to get to the oddball questions just because it's fun. So you've been in Kansas City for, you kind of bounced. You were in Kansas City a little bit this week, went up to Nebraska, came back down.
Yeah.
I know you had some barbecue.
Yeah.
Beyond what everybody's going to say and influence you to say, what state has the best barbecue?
Oh my God, I'll be pissing off a lot of people up there.
That's the point.
I can't be politically correct up here in that case.
Oh no.
Which I try to be for the most part. Well, I was introduced to a place called Burnt Beans, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Burnt Beans in Texas. They're close to New Braunfels, and the New Braunfels Bourbon Society guys introduced me to that place. Phenomenal. I really, really enjoyed. Phenomenal. And no disrespect to Kansas style barbecue at all, but that place, Burnt Beans, if I'm not mistaken, was awarded as the best barbecue of 2025, and very fortunate to have experience last year thanks to the New Braunfels Bourbon Society guys who took me out there.
It's probably a good thing you mentioned the world's best barbecue, because you're probably going to need some credit on your side on that. But last question. I know we got to make this kind of quick, but the favorite question I like to ask people is, if you were in a karaoke bar and you could choose one song and you could nail every word to it confidently, what would it be? Or I can reword it and say, if you were in a car by yourself and you were jamming and you could turn on a song and just belt out your lungs, what would you choose?
Don't Stop Believing. From Journey. So I'm such a cheese ball. Such a cheese ball.
Awesome.
Or maybe Tequila.
You gotta say one word.
Tequila. That's it. Because if I sing, the whole karaoke bar will be shut down.
I don't know. I think I'd pay for that. That'd be pretty entertaining. Well, I just want to give a huge shout out to Karthik and Gomer's of Kansas for letting us do this. They just held an event where they did a big tasting for a big group of people, and wanted to give a huge shout out to the owners of Gomer's and their crew. Can't say thank you enough. This is really, really, really special to me, and I'm super excited that we got to do this, get some time together. And Second night in a row.
Thank you, and good luck for your channel.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Gomers, and thank you for all the rye whiskey fans, and and craft whiskey and craft rum lovers, and support the craft brands, and the story continues. We'll keep innovating, and we'll keep putting great products, and I will see you soon. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.